Let's draw a couple of graphs. In many problems, I have a column where the data are random, and then I copy that random data, paste special it in another column in order not to deal with random numbers and make you confused. I work with fixed numbers, but later you can put the random numbers in place of the fixed number and see everything is fine and working. The first thing I want to do is to draw a graph, just a simple graph for these data in column B. So I'll go to column B, mark the data, insert, I'll go to line graph and I choose this one. And this data is graphed. I think I have more than 35 points. Select data, hidden and empty cells, show hidden cells, and that is the graph. And also I come here and delete these numbers because I really don't need. Then I could come and prepare some descriptive statistics. Equal to average of these data. F4 because I'm going to copy it down. So average is that one. Standard deviation, I just copy this down. I go here and I type ST, standard deviation of sample. Enter. Coefficient of variations is simply standard deviation divided by average. Count is simply number of data that I have, and that is 1000. Minimum, I just go there and replace count with mean. Maximum, I just go there and change mean with max, and then range, that is equal to max minus mean. And then I just come here and I type for this title what I have done, typed here equal to quotations, data, colon, space, mean is equal to quotation ends and round this one, comma 2. That is one part of my title, and then I go over there and quotation, comma, space C, V, coefficient of variations is equal to space quotation and round coefficient of variations, comma 2. And that is something I have over there. Now what I can do, I can go here, title, equal to, and then I click on this. So now average and coefficient of variations is also written over there. Let's go back to the original one which I had. I type here round this one, comma 2, and here I also type round this one, comma 2, and that is this graph, which is the same as that graph. So we are done with one of our graphs. Let's go and draw this one, which is a cumulative graph. Suppose these are different estimates for cost of a product, and now we want to know the probability of what the cost of that product would be. Here, different people have estimated that cost. I come here, delete this one, and I type equal to small. I'll go and mark the range, small, comma, rows, open parentheses, small, comma, rows, and then I click on the first row, column. The first row again appears. I put a dollar sign in front of the first one, dollar, and then I close rows and I close small. Enter. So that tells me this is my smallest number. And if I copy it down, I'm sorry, I forgot to lock this range, F4, enter. And if I copy it down, that was my smallest number, this is my largest number. Then I want to compute the probability because everything is less than or equal to 1864, probability is 1. So I'll go here and type equal to rows from this one to itself. So that is row 1. And I put a dollar sign in front of the first one. Divided by count. Count. We know it is 1,000, but let's assume we don't know. So that is count. Locked. Enter. And then if you copy it down, then you have that data like this. And then we can go ahead and mark this too. Insert scatter graph. This one, for example. That graph, the only problem is select data. So this is a graph like this, same thing. Now we know that with probability of 40%, that cost would be less than, say, 900. With probability of 60%, that would be less than 1,100, and so on and so forth. I can go here, select this, and instead of 1.2, because I know probability doesn't go above 1, I will mark it like that. Okay. Now let's draw a histogram. Delete. Categories. Suppose you want to draw a histogram with 12 categories. If 12 categories there, and if the range is this much divided by 12, that would be the interval of each category. 135.2. In the exam, if I give you a problem like this, you do not do the rest. The rest is mainly for when you want to present what you have prepared to a boss to make that the starting point is clean, the interval is clean. From now on, I'm just going to clean this too, and clean the interval, and clean the number of categories. Equal to round this interval. Here I may type equal to -2, enter. So it's rounded to 100. 135 is rounded such that the last 2 digits are 0. But maybe 2 digits are too much. I type -1. Therefore, it is a rounded order. And to get rid of things like that, you can always go here, type if error, comma, nothing, quotation, quotation, then you can copy it down. Now it's gone. So now interval was rounded. I want this minimum to start as a multiplier of this interval. So what I will do is equal to this minimum divided by this interval. And that is 1.7. But I want it either to be one interval or two interval. And because I want it to cover the minimum, therefore I go here and I type int. Then I close this. Then the decimal point is dropped. I could have also typed round down, comma 0, but that is too much more typing. Integer does the same thing. And then I go and multiply this again by that interval, which was there. Therefore, now I know that I start from 140 and I go by a step of 140. But where I do stop, I go here, maximum divided by this interval. That is 13.3. But I need to round this one up, not down, because I want to make sure that I cover the maximum number, which is also there, and I cover everything which are there. So I go here, round, up, this one, comma 0. It tells me there are 14. Now I multiply this again by that interval, and I find adjusted maximum. So my numbers start from the clean number of 140, they go to clean number of 1960. Here I could have put 2 instead of 1. Then let's see how things would have changed. Then the interval was 100. My minimum would have started from 200, and it would go to 1900. Frankly, maybe this one is better. Yeah, this is better. Let's stay with this. Round it to -2 instead of -1, because -1 will a little strange numbers. -2 is very clean numbers. Now, how many categories do we have? Equal to this one minus this one divided by this one. 17 categories. We went from 12 to 17. If I have used -1 here, then I would have had 13 categories. But with -2, I have 17 categories. Now I come here, I type equal to the minimum. Enter. Equal to the left-hand side plus the increment, and lock the increment, F4. Category 2 starts from where category 1 ended, and then I copy this down, and I take these two, I copy them up to here, and it covers 1900. Delete this one. Okay, now I come here and I type equal to count if what? Count if these numbers, which are here, comma, quotation mark less than, if it is less than, quotation mark, and this one. That is how we declare if that number is less than 200. Count if, we mark the range, and we need to lock it, F4. comma, quotation, less than, quotation, and I1, which is 200. So it tells us how many numbers are less than 200. No number? Oh, I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. Instead of setting this equal to minimum, I set it equal to the interval. So one number is over there, then I copy it down. Copy it down, copy it down, copy it down, up to 900. The only thing I should be careful here, in the last one, I shouldn't stay with less than. I say less than or equal, because it is possible that our maximum is 900 actually, and then if we just write less than, it will not count. So now we always need to do that adjustment. And now I wonder how many items do you have in each category? Equal to 1, equal to 5 minus 1. Enter, and then I copy it down, and now I have the number of items in each category. And now I go here, equal to this one divided by this one, and lock it to show percentages. That is 1% is less than 300, and 100% is less than or equal to 1900. I have everything over there. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark these numbers. Insert, chart, and I select this chart, okay? I'll go ahead and Control 1. I reduce the gap. So now they are connected to each other. I may also like to change the color. I'll go to my favorite colors. One of them is here. I come here and I type equal to this one and quotation mark dash quotation mark and this. Enter. So I now have from 200 to 300, and I copy it down. I click on here, select the data. I go to edit my horizontal line, and instead of those 1, 2, 3, 4, I type these things over there. Okay, now I have the categories. Okay, everything looks fine. I want to add this graph to the cumulative graph. So I'll go and mark this, copy. I come here and I simply paste it and change series chart type. For this one, I'll come and select this. I want to show it as a line, and I want to show it on a secondary vertical axis. Here I am from 0 to 180, but here I want to have different axes here. So I click on this. Now I have that graph. Okay, very nice. Click on this. I change it to the color that I like. That is for line. For markers also, I change it to the color that I like. And for this one, I change it to the color that I like. And then I click on this, and instead of going to 1.2, I just go to 1, enter. Now we also have learned to create histograms for any situations that are built by ourselves, and it is another visualization tool. You can also change the angle of these numbers like this. See, X's, their angle are changing. I will change until all numbers appear over there. That's like this. So we learned a couple of graphs, and thank you very much for attending this session.